Introduction: Westminster has a way of moving in rhythms as a whisper, a wobble, and then, sometimes, a quiet retreat. Right now that hush has returned, and this time it surrounds Labour's plans to curb jury trials. Backbench disquiet is loud enough that many MPs privately expect the policy to be shelved before it reaches the Commons in force. The mood music: there's little attempt at subtlety among some Labour MPs. One backbencher predicted bluntly, "It looks like the whole thing will be quietly ditched." Another senior MP added that October, the earliest realistic timetable for any vote, feels politically distant enough to make the proposals vulnerable. "I would be amazed if they actually follow through with the attacks on jury trial." October is a long way away in political terms. "I presume they'll dump it, quietly or otherwise." Karl Turner breaks cover. The most striking break with ranks has come from Karl Turner, who says he has never before rebelled. His reaction was scathing. "People are cheesed off. It's not in the manifesto." If this was the Tory government doing this, Labour MPs would be going absolutely stark raving mad, including Keir Starmer and including David Lammy. Turner says anger is boiling over. "We are absolutely seething with the government, with the Prime Minister and with David Lammy. I want to see him face to face on this single issue, and I expect him to instruct Lammy to stop and think again. He is confident the Commons would block the measures. I am absolutely confident that if they're daft enough to put this legislation forward, I'm confident we'll defeat it." What's actually being proposed? The plan, first set out last year by David Lammy and rooted in recommendations from retired Judge Sir Brian Leveson, is pitched as a response to the post-COVID Crown Court backlog. The headline elements include reserving jury trials for only the most serious offences, such as murder and rape, moving many cases likely to draw sentences under 3 years to judge-only hearings, shifting long fraud and complex financial cases out of jury courts, and introducing interim swift courts and expanding the magistrates' role. The stated aim is speed and efficiency, fewer jurors tied up for months, and clearer timetables for victims. The obvious cost, critics say, is a direct challenge to the long-standing principle of trial by jury. The déjà vu factor: several MPs see echoes of last summer's welfare rebellion, when planned cuts were dropped to avoid a Commons defeat. That sense of déjà vu has intensified after reporting, first published by The Independent, that Rachel Reeves may be preparing to abandon plans to scrap business rates relief for pubs. One MP summed it up: "This feels like another retreat being preloaded." Ministers dig in cautiously at an Opposition Day debate last week. Justice Minister Sarah Sackman defended the direction of travel on practical grounds. Victims are waiting years for justice. Over 20,000 open cases in the Crown Court backlog have been waiting for a year or more. Justice delayed is justice denied. But Sackman also left wiggle room. There will be an impact assessment before legislation is brought forward, and MPs will have the opportunity to scrutinise the plans. In plain terms, much remains up for grabs. Verdict: no vote has even been scheduled. The earliest realistic window is October, yet backbenchers are already talking as if the fight is over. When MPs publicly predict defeat before a bill is even tabled, Downing Street and the Treasury tend to take notice. If history is any guide, this looks less like a reform in waiting and more like another U-turn quietly circling the runway. Expect the hum in Westminster to keep building, and then, perhaps, to fade once more.